Today in Taking Over Tottenham, we have changed both our formation and tactical style since yesterday's episode. Find out how we have been getting on with that change, and we take on Manchester United away at Old Trafford. That is coming up today in Taking Over Tottenham. Hello everyone and welcome back to Taking Over Tottenham here on Shaun Does FM. I hope you are doing well. If you're looking forward to today's episode, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video. And if you've been here since episode 1 as well and haven't done so already, make sure to also hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. It is greatly appreciated and keeps you guys up to date when the new episodes do drop here on the channel. But as we said in the intro, we have changed our tactical style since the end of yesterday's episode after we got embarrassed by Newcastle. It's fair to say. If you missed that one, I'll leave a link to it above my head in the top right corner. We also had deadline day, made a deal there, bringing Renan Lodi in after selling Sergio Reguilon to Newcastle, and also unlocked the data hub, which we have been using in between then and now as well to some effect as well. But we did change the tactic. That 5 at the back tiki-taka didn't seem to suit our squad balance and didn't really seem to suit the players we had at our disposal either. So what we've done is we've gone to the Gegenpress, and it is more or less the exact same tactic we did use throughout FM21 last year in both the Hexagon Challenge and Blue Hell Worldwide, just modified it slightly throughout each of those saves. The only change that we've actually made to the tactic from that is instead of a defensive midfielder for Tanguy Ndombele, he is going to be playing as a halfback instead, a bit more comfortable doing that. But more or less, this is the exact same tactic that we used to great success on FM21, the one that we did win the Hexagon Challenge with and got Sporting Kansas City up to the Premier League with in the World Super League. But before we get into today's game against Manchester United, we will catch you guys up on the highlights of all the games since yesterday's episode. First off, we had an away trip to Rapid Wien in Austria for the Conference League and got off to an absolute flyer in this game. Early set piece, Højbjerg to Ndombele at the far post. VAR did check that, but the goal was awarded and we did go 1-0 up after 5 minutes, and soon off the back of that we made it 2. Eric Dyer charging forward, slots Belotti through. Good finish there by the Italian stallion to make it 2-0. Another VAR check that went in our favour. 2-0 up early in the first half. They did get a goal back right before half-time. Good save there from Lloris, but the rebound just falls a bit kindly there to the Rapid Wien strikers, and they make it 2-1 at half-time. But around the hour mark, we more or less put the game to bed. Brian Gill there putting a ball in. The Rapid Wien goalkeeper gets a fist to it, but just punches it out to Dele Ali, who puts that in the back of the net, and we start our Conference League campaign with a pretty comfortable 3-1 win away from home. Stats-wise, not the most dominant performance. They actually had quite a few shots, but we were quite clinical with ours, which is nice to say, and pick up a solid 3 points there. And off the back of that, it was a pretty heavily rotated team yet again taking part in the EFL Cup, Carabao Cup, third rounder home game against Plymouth Argyle, and both goals coming in very similar circumstances. Lo Celso corner, Joe Rodon getting on the end of it, that one quite early in the first half, that one with a quarter hour to go, and we pick up a good solid 2-0 win. Plymouth offering absolutely nothing. We comprehensively defeated them 2-0 to go through to the 4th round of the Carabao Cup. And off the back of that, our first 11 got their first chance to use the Gegenpress tactic as we took on Brighton at home in the Premier League. Took us a little while to get going in this game, but around the 38-minute mark, another corner here, Davinson Sanchez getting on the end of that to put us 1-0 up just shy of half-time. And then fairly early in the second half, it was the same combination, the shot save that time in Ndombele there to pick up the scraps, and another corner, this time Eric Dyer getting on the end of that one going through the hands of Sanchez in goal for Brighton, and we pick up a pretty good 3-0 win. Again, stats-wise, very dominant there, a good performance from the first team. And off the back of that, it was more of the same from the rotation team in the Conference League as we were home to Omanoia from Cyprus. Hopefully I am getting that name right, not entirely sure about the pronunciation of that one, so apologies if I'm getting it wrong. But good ball there from Sessegnon to Bergwijn to put us 1-0 up about halfway through the first half, and then with 20 minutes to go, we really put the foot down on these guys. Romero from the corner to make it 2-0, and then in the last couple of minutes, we brought Heung-min Son off the bench, and he had a field day here. Brian Gilderson, really nice finish into the top right corner to make it 3-0 with 2 minutes to go. And then right on the brink of full time, Gil makes his way down the right hand side again, puts the ball in. Kane flicks it onto Son, and he puts that in the back of the net to get a late double. And we comprehensively beat the Cyprian outfit 4-0 again, a game that we were very dominant in stats wise, and we make it 6 points from 6 in the Conference League group stage. And off the back of that, we were back into the Premier League with the first team for a couple of back-to-back games. First off to Carrow Road for an away trip against Norwich, another game where it took us a little while to hit our stride in this game, but with 25 minutes to go in Dombelli to Winks, nice ball over the top there for Brian Gill at the far post, and he puts us up 1-0 with about 20 minutes to go, and not long off the back of that, we more or less sealed the game. It came with a header, goes back out to Hueyberg, in for Bergwijn, just sneaks that past the goalkeeper here at the near post, and in short order, we make it 2-0 and pick up a solid win. Not our most dominant performance there compared to the prior outings, but another 3 points to keep a good little patch of form going. And then back home for a game against Everton, probably the toughest one we've had in between yesterday's episode and this upcoming game against Manchester United today, and we put out a very good performance here. Calvert-Lewin hitting that ball away, but we get things going again through Emerson Royale. Really nice first time finish there from Harry Kane, finally getting back in goal scoring action, and made it 1-0 at half time. Early in the second half, though, we really started to turn on the style. Heung-min Son, really nice finish there into the bottom left corner to put us 2-0 up early in the second half, and from there it only got better. Emerson Royale again making his way nicely down the right, puts the ball in. Harry Kane on the volley to pick up a double, so he might be back in goal scoring form. Unfortunately, we did concede not long off the back of that. Ben Godfrey at the far post with a header to make it 3-1, but in the last couple of minutes we really turned on the style again. Joe Rodon playing Belotti through, came off the bench as Kane was getting a little bit tired and got a goal himself, so we potentially robbed Harry Kane of a hat-trick there. And then right at the end of added time, Rodon, after getting the assist for the prior goal, gets one with a header of his own, and we pick up a very nice 5-1 win there against Everton. And you look at the stats, it was a very good performance. We have certainly performed well in the Premier League since the end of yesterday's episode. And the last game heading into this Manchester United one was back in the Conference League, taking on Turkish outfit Trabzonspor, probably the toughest opponent we've got in our group, and this was a bit of a messier performance from us, but we did still pick up the win at home. Dele Alli running onto that ball from Emerson Royale yet again, and that was the winning goal for us in the 52nd minute to pick up a solid 1-0 win. Stats-wise, we were pretty good, but didn't quite get the same dominant scoreline that we had got in those prior games coming into this one against Manchester United. So we have not dropped a single point since the end of yesterday's episode. Have bounced back really well from that Newcastle loss, and what that means for the various competitions that we are in. First off, the Conference League, 9 points from 9 in an exceptionally strong position there, as you would expect from us. Really good goal differential as well. We are already in a position where we should be topping that group and doing so fairly comfortably, and have really only been relying on our reserves for most of the minutes in that competition so far as well. So that's been a very good competition for us so far. That is going to plan. The Premier League, we have jumped up the table a little bit since yesterday's episode. We do still have games in hand on teams, so we haven't shot up quite as much as you might expect us to because of that good run of form, but we are in 9th on 13 points. If we can sneak a win in today's game against Manchester United, we will get up into those European spots and have a couple of games in hand on the teams around us as well. So this could be a very good position we find ourselves in at the end of today's episode, should we get a good result against Manchester United, albeit they are up in 4th above Manchester City, who gave us a pretty tough time in the opening game of the season. So going to be a good test for us today at Old Trafford against Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's Manchester United. And in terms of the EFL Cup, we've got the 4th round of that coming up off the back of today's episode, taking on Brentford. That looks a pretty winnable tie for us, that one, and we'll see how we get on in that competition. Another competition, much like the Conference League, where we're probably going to be using our rotation team, as the board don't really care about what we do in that competition, but no doubt the further we go in that competition, the better, as any silverware here at Tottenham will no doubt help us out managerial wise. So very good run of form since the end of yesterday's episode, but we are taking on Manchester United today, and we'll see what this Gegenpress can do against them. It's been pretty successful so far, pretty comprehensive wins up until that Trabzonspor one, so hopefully it's still going to work. There have been quite a few tired bodies in the team having to rest them, so Not too sure how much longer we're going to be able to persist with the Gegenpress, but it has helped us out form-wise, so we'll see how it goes in this litmus test today against Manchester United. But before we head into the game, one player I did want to highlight was Joe Rodon. This is a player I wasn't overly familiar with before starting the save, not being a Tottenham fan in real life, but he has been very good for us for the rotation team in the last couple of games and is more or less on form, forced his way into the first 11 for this upcoming game against Manchester United. You can see he's got a few red arrows there, which is interesting, but you look at his form, he's averaging 7.67 in the Premier League, 3 appearances, 1 goal, 1 assist, a player of the match, and in general, 4 appearances, 3 goals, 1 assist, and 2 player of the matches, 7.65 average rating. He is having a storming season so far. Nice tall centre back, which I do like, and because of that, he has earned his way into the starting 11 for this upcoming game against Manchester United, as have Harry Winks. He's in the Carrilero. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg does look a better box-to-box option than Dele Alli, so Winks has come back into the midfield for Ali, and we've also made a change at goalkeeper, partly because of form, and also because Hugo Lloris of late has been quite injury prone, so we're going to give Pierluigi Galini a chance there in good form compared to Lloris. So if we go down a little bit more, not quite in as good a form. He is fitter now than he was for the last couple of games, but we'll give the informed goalkeeper a crack there too. So trying out a few interesting players for this upcoming game against Man United, see how they do. But that covers off everything that has happened in between yesterday and today, and we'll come back shortly from Old Trafford for this Premier League outing against Manchester United. And here are the team sheets for this game against Manchester United. We ran you guys through us before. The other change that I did fail to mention, Davinson Sanchez is the starting centre-back now alongside Rodon, so both Romero and Dyer relegated to the bench at the moment. Anyway, we'll see how these guys get on, see if they can keep their current good form going against the Red Devils. In terms of Man United, it's looking fairly similar to what they look like in real life at their best. The one change, Patrick Berg, must be a new addition. He is in the starting lineup, and a few players on the bench as well who are a little bit unfamiliar, Kevin Ellis and Felipe Suarez, but more or less the core of what Manchester United have there currently, and we'll see how we get on against the 4th place Red Devils. 18 minutes gone, the first highlight of the game, albeit stats-wise, we are dominating things slightly, but won't matter if we don't make it count on the scoreboard. There's Ronaldo with the first shot of the game. Good save there from Galini, but he was offside. Still 0-0 after 20 minutes. 28 minutes gone here, and we do have a throw-in after that first highlight where Ronaldo was offside, and Renan Lodi puts the ball in. A player who is already up to a 3.5-star rating as a wing-back, so has already surpassed Sergio Reguilon since he joined in yesterday's episode, so that's a good promising start from him as we look to get something going forward here down the right-hand side. Kane picking out Lucas Moura, just holding the ball up, puts the ball into the mixer. Varane deals with that at the near post, and Shaun will tidy things up, and it will be Manchester United now who look to get us on the counter-attack. Maguire to Varane and Pogba. Wan-Bissaka on the right-hand side, given a little bit of space. Hopefully we can shut him down here sooner rather than later, but he's got too much pace out on that right-hand side. Puts the ball in there for Sancho. Fernandes back out to Wan-Bissaka. Puts the ball in. Near post punched away from Galini. Falls to Rashford. Paul Pogba with the headed assist, and just shy of the half-hour mark. Somewhat against the stats in this game. We go 1-0 down at Old Trafford, so hopefully we don't fall apart like we did in yesterday's game against Newcastle. Maybe Galini could have held on to that one, because that's really what created the opportunity. Punches it out to Pogba, finds Rashford, good finish. And after half an hour, we're 1-0 down.
Yeah.
And for the first time in the save, we've got the Mark Richardson out, and it's not a good one. Harry Kane has picked up an injury and is going to be forced from the field. Just as I felt like we were starting to get him into a little bit of form, he has picked up an injury, so that could be a major blow to us. Luckily, we did bring Belotti in that past transfer window. Pretty good replacement, but that's a big injury potentially there for us. Harry Kane going off in the first half. And shortly off the back of bringing Belotti on for the injured Kane, Manchester United did have a free kick, but a good interception there from Renan Lodi, making his way quite a fair way off his left wing-back slot, but we did keep possession, albeit then Emerson Royale loses it there to Rashford, I believe it was, and now it's Shaun making his way down the left, the wing-back for Man United. Just given a little bit of space on the byline, puts a ball in there, good clearance from Sanchez, but straight out to Wan-Bissaka, who's looked very dangerous so far in this game. Puts a ball in for Ronaldo, And as you would expect, Cristiano Ronaldo gets a header goal. We have been quite good heading-wise coming into this game, stats-wise, both us and Manchester United. Very good heading stats, being quite good from aerial chances, but they look a bit stronger than us at the moment. It has to be said, Ronaldo just out jumping our centre-back there. I think it might be Rodon who he's done there, jumping reach-wise, and we go 2-0 down just shy of half-time. And that is half-time. It's been a pretty miserable one for us, truth be told. Before the first highlight, we were dominating things stats-wise, but since then, it has been Manchester United finishing the first half off very strongly. And in between those goals, we also lost Harry Kane. So it's not been a good day for us so far. We'll make one change at halftime. Emerson Royale down to a 6.2 rating. So he's going to come off for Matt Doherty. But in a spot of bother here, 2-0 down as we start the second half at Old Trafford. 52 minutes gone here. A decent start stats-wise for us. But this is the first highlight. Ronaldo with the header. And we're defending narrowly. But somehow he's been given space right in the centre of the box there. And this is going from bad to worse for us here at Old Trafford today. 3-0 down. It was a throw-in. Shaun getting the ball back from Berg, and Ronaldo just given way too much space there in between the centre-backs. They're both not performing as well as they have been so far this season today. Not really handling this litmus test at the moment, but we do have a highlight straight from the restart, so hopefully we can get back into this game somewhat. At least get some pride out of this game and get on the score sheet, unlike we did against Newcastle in yesterday's episode. Nice ball over the top there for Son, just on the byline, back to Renan Lodi, and for Højbjerg, puts it there for Lucas Moura. Tight angle and a really good save there from David De Gea to keep it at 3-0 after 54 minutes. We'll see if anything happens from this corner. We have been pretty good from corners so far, but Sanchez misses that one. Varane tidies things up, and we will make a substitution, our last one off the back of that highlight. Davinson Sanchez at the back, not performing well. We'll bring Christian Romero on for him. That's our last substitution, though. Still got a lot of players out there not performing well. 3-0 down at the 55-minute mark here against Manchester United. 57 minutes gone here, shortly off the back of that Romero substitution, and Luke Shaw is making his way down the left. Good interception there, though, from Matt Doherty, and he gets the ball back now as we get something going down this right-hand side. Lucas Moura doesn't quite have the pace to get past Luke Shaw, it looks like, but puts the ball in there for Belotti with an open header, but just puts that wide of the post, and still 3-0 to Man United. 75 minutes gone here, a corner to Manchester United. Berg puts it in the mixer, and it is Mason Greenwood, of all people, at the far post, and they are absolutely doing us in the ear today. Are Manchester United, with quarter of an hour to go, we are 4-0 down. This is a real surprise for us, it has to be said. Attacking-wise, we put low crosses on for this game because it did work against Everton, who have also been quite good aerially this season, but we haven't been bad in the air either, according to our stats that we're getting in the data hub. So this is a little bit of a surprise, it has to be said, and it's kind of caught us off guard in this game. Manchester United absolutely dominating us aerially, and 4-0 up with less than 10 minutes to go. Hopefully we can get a goal back here. Højbjerg over for Belotti and puts that away in the bottom right corner. Now VAR is going to check as Belotti grabs the ball and retreats straight back to halfway. We'll see if the goal gets awarded, and indeed it does. VAR being a lot more even this year compared to FM21, with the decisions being disallowed and allowed. And you can see, I think the right centre-back is playing him outside there. Good finish from the Italian stallion. And with 5 minutes to go, we get some pride out of this result, I suppose. Yep, you can see the right centre-back playing him onside there. 4-1, not going to win the game, but at least we're on the score sheet. And off the back of that goal to Belotti, now it's a throw into Manchester United, so they will look to put the pressure right back on us here. Will the Red Devils? Another header there. This time it is Ronaldo looking for a hat-trick. He puts that just over the bar. 4-1 as we start to enter added time in this game. They've just absolutely done us in the air today, as I said before, and that, I think, has been the difference. A little bit unexpected, that, based on the stats we saw before the game. We get absolutely bashed by Manchester United. More concerningly, Harry Kane off injured in the first half, so we'll come back and see how serious that is. Unfortunately, the players that we brought in didn't really perform that well. Galini had an absolute shocker. Rodon not bad. Sanchez not great. Winks was okay, so might have to reconsider some of those players in the first team after that game. But heavy defeat there at Old Trafford to Manchester United, losing that 4-1. And we'll come back shortly look at the Premier League table and see how serious that injury to Harry Kane is. So back in the inbox, firstly, we have the Premier League table. Luckily, we do still have games in hand on the teams above us after that loss to Manchester United. Still, even though it looks like we're in quite a bad position, I don't think it's as bad as it looks because we've only played 7 games compared to most teams playing 9 or 10, and we're on 13 points. If we win our games in hand, then we will get up into that European fight pretty much even with Manchester City. So it's still not in a terrible spot here at Tottenham, even though we are 10th on the table, those games in hand, thanks to the Conference League, putting us in a bit of a stronger position than our league position would make it look at the moment. Just quickly looking at player stats, Raul Jimenez has started off his time at Newcastle on absolute fire, 12 goals in 9 games for him, and it might even be less by the time he actually joined them. So he has started off like an absolute freight train at Newcastle. But we will go to the inbox because unfortunately, Harry Kane, it's a fairly serious injury, out for 5 to 6 weeks. It could have been worse, so it's not all bad, but he's still going to be missing for a fair bit of time, 5 to 6 weeks. He's going to be back around about the start of December, early December, so that's a busy period for us. We do need him back for then, but hopefully we'll get by fine while he is out. Luckily, we did bring Belotti in as our first signing here at Tottenham, and it is going to be a very important one because otherwise we'd be really light up front, and if Belotti gets an injury now, we're going to be very light. We're going to pretty much have to chuck Son up front or something like that, maybe call on someone like Dane Scarlett from the under-18s or under-23s, whatever of those two teams he is in, the young promising striker here at Tottenham. So that was a bit of a shocker, it has to be said. Our good form with the Gegenpress has been put to bed there by Manchester United. So that will do it for today's episode. I'm going to keep going with the Gegenpress because stats-wise, if we actually look at that game, didn't really look at it too heavily off the back of what happened in game, but stats-wise, we actually had the higher XG in that game, so it might not have been as bad a performance as we thought, and we had lots of corners too, so yeah, I just think they did us aerially there, but otherwise, it wasn't the worst performance from us. They were just very clinical with their chances. We weren't clinical at all with ours, so I think we're going to persist with the Gegenpress, maybe see how it gets on until tomorrow's episode, and yeah, if things go completely off the boil, we might have to make another tactical change there because we are getting some quite tired bodies now. It does look like we're going to be picking up a few more injuries using the Gegenpress this year as well. So maybe we need to change things up yet again off the back of that Man United loss, but won't push the panic button just yet because our form before that with the Gegenpress was very good. But that will do for today's episode. Now we'll come back some stage in November, but truth be told, the games in November are all games that we really should be winning. So looking at that, I think what we're going to do is come back right at the end because I think the most interesting game out of those November ones is going to be against Aston Villa. Might also record the Burnley one just in case the Aston Villa one doesn't amount to much. So we'll come back for either Aston Villa or Burnley. Might see how Chris Wood's getting on at Burnley, but it'll be one of those two games against a team wearing claret and blue. But if you did enjoy today's episode, good run of form prior to the game, but then Manchester United absolutely smashing us, especially in the air, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you enjoy the series and haven't done so already, also remember to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. And until tomorrow, when we'll come back for either Burnley or Aston Villa in the Premier League, thank you very much for watching. Keep on keeping on, and I'll see you then. Cheers.